I received. Mail. Email.
Yeah.
I will give you a little, yeah, Dora?
I received also.
Okay. Alex?
Yeah, I got.
Okay.
Everyone has.
So, I will give you later maybe a little bit longer break, and then you can check the tracks. But then we can go through
All of them?
the or I mean you can pick here and there. This is very eclectic music here. Huh? So you will find tango, Polish tango, and then you will find some very alternative music. So, okay, but let's go, because this is the subject for today. Let's say focus on the images and have a look. I will ask you to choose one.
From the website?
Yeah. So just, you have this, can you see this slide show of images? So then check them, and then you choose one. If you click on the slideshow, you can see them better. Huh? And you can decide to move into the other one. Let me know when you have one. And when you, okay, and then now it's about to learn it, to check it, to observe it as detailed as possible, because I will ask you to describe it without looking at it.
But we can look at it for a bit.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Let me know when you're ready. Sandra is ready? Are you sure? Okay. Try to avoid, I don't know if you are taking notes, are you?
No, everything is in the head.
For this one, no. So it's about how your visual memory is working. So then you can observe, you can watch the picture as much as you can, but then do not take any reference or reminder. Let's see that your memory starts working. Ready, Alex? And Dora? Okay. Okay, so let's start with Sandra. Which one is yours?
Okay, so I did take notes, but I'm going to close my book, and so you know I'm not cheating. I chose a picture of a man who seems to be in what I think is a very old straitjacket, who is staring directly at the camera, and his tongue is rolled back inside his mouth, and two men are stroking his face with small metal rods. It's about halfway through the image collection. And I chose it because it seems like a moment of a sort of Clockwork Orange forcing, because they've got something propping up his head and these two metal rods across his eyebrows where his face is like wrinkled and distorted, and he looks uncomfortable, but it's not sure if it's physical or mental, and if they're soothing him or torturing him. And I like the balance of the because of the freeze of the camera in obviously what is a movement thing, you can't tell. Yeah.
Okay. Now the point is, describe it as detailed as possible. So describe it. So what is in it and how other things are, and
Describe it again.
More
detail.
You what you did is like a kind of introduction.
Okay.
This describing it, meaning like kids would do it. So
do you want me to sort of describe it like, you know how sometimes they have like captions for visually impaired people, so like what you would see, although you can't see.
No. The most aseptical way as possible. So, for example, there is three men. One is doing that. The other has this face. The eyes are like this. The right hand is putting like that. But don't look at the image.
No, I'm not. I'm looking at you. So there is a man with his mouth open, staring at the camera in the center, and there is another man who is below and in front, who has his right hand stroking a metal rod against the man's left eyebrow wrinkles. And there is another man who is just behind but standing up and taller, who is stroking another metal rod with his right hand across the other side of the eye, just below the eyebrow. And there is a metal brace collar supporting the man in the center as if he was trapped in that position. He appears to be wearing a straight jacket or something clinical. It's black and white and looks to be about 1900.
Do you want to add something else?
It looks like a procedural photograph taken in an insane asylum about the way that they treat patients, would be my guess.
Okay. So this is, for example, this is interesting because we are going to talk about this, so about what we see, meaning the physical act of seeing, and what we see behind that then is our imagination working behind. So we presume that they are in a kind of hospital or house for mental sick people or something like this. We presume that, but we do not see that. Do you understand what I mean? So now first, for example, let's focus.
Straight jacket is kind of a thing, though. Like there is a restraint on it.
Yeah, well, yes. So, but for example, if you
saw links, you'd think of prison if you saw that someone had handcuffs. Like the image is too strong for me to think of play. Like it's not a sex party.
The image is strong, in fact, and especially if you know what is it about. But again, well, I will summarize the learning after you three go through that. So let me ask you something stupid. For example, the man that is manipulating the face of the central character.
There's two.
The one who is, let's say, manipulating the face. So with the strings.
They both are from different angles, one below, one above.
Exactly. So this man is wearing glasses.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
No, it's a question. It's a yes or not.
I don't think either of them are wearing glasses. All I noticed is that the lower one has a very strong aquiline nose, but I didn't see the glasses.
Okay, does he have a bird?
The screaming man?
No, the one who is working in the face of the screaming man.
One tall, I think he had facial hair, but the one below is clean shaven with the big nose, I think.
Sandra, Dora, you can ask things to Alex because she did not describe everything.
Yeah, and I still cannot remember which picture is that.
Oh my God! Now.
I went through all of them, but this is new one for me. So I'm struggling between 2 or 3 pictures, but I can't remember that jacket and
about Alex image.
Yeah.
We something to her, something that, for example, she was missing.
Yeah, I still don't know about about what picture she's talking about. So I don't know what to ask. I mean,
No.
I mean,
You will find a sepia, black and white sepia, with three men, one in the middle, with a very special face, and the others are working on him.
I think what I forgot to say
he
maybe
has a
was
stone on the body. No, this is not.
I think that's the straitjacket. But something I didn't say was I think the two men are closely observing. They're looking at what they're doing. They're not just. I didn't say that. They're facing towards him, closely observing. I
Okay.
didn't mention. Yeah,
Face.
Can you find a picture?
it's like halfway through. Maybe?
Sandra, I think you can now go and look. I don't know if you are trying
Yeah.
and do not want. But is it right that we now can go back to the link and find a picture? Or
I think
Yeah,
YouTube
I'm
and I can.
Can you? So you lose the picture when you go to Zoom.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there three people on the picture?
Wait.
And the one wants to. No.
No,
One
that's the
line
one wrong.
with a stone.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's
Look.
Further.
Because if not, I will change into my computer, and then I can share the screen with you. So can you see the picture while we are talking in Zoom?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, on my mobile phone.
Can
But
you?
I am still looking for
Okay.
it.
So then you only need to find the picture. It's the only one which is sepia. And there are
Oh, okay, these guys has a grimace, facial expression. It's like
Yeah.
a crazy. I mean, okay then. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say this now. Yeah, exactly. It's a very worry. Let's say that.
Or maybe sick. Yeah, something.
Dora, would you like to ask something that Alex missed?
Mental institution.
you were talking when you describe it. One of the first thing I remembered you said was about the tongue, that he doesn't have a tongue, or the tongue is flipped inside, or is it something like that? But my question is, does he have a teeth? Is it about the teeth or the tongue?
I can't remember seeing any teeth now, but I remember seeing a little like shiny in the middle of. So there was like deeper in the mouth, but I don't think there's any teeth. I think it's just a black and then a light of the tongue, like wet saliva something. But I don't know now. Thank you.
More things. Who has from the two men that are working with the patient, let's say, who's the one who has more hair?
I think the lower man, like hair on the head or on the face.
On the head.
Longer hair on the head. The lower man, that's in front. And a shorter cut for the taller man, who I think has some facial hair, but now I don't know.
How would you describe the expression of the patient, the man in the middle?
I think it's really complicated because it could be. It's obviously insane. To me, maybe that's not the correct word to use, but you know what I mean. But whether it's happy or sad or angry or afraid, none of those emotions register correctly. It's all of them at once, which is perhaps the insanity. You can't tell if he's being soothed and screaming or if he's happy, or like it's it's too many emotions happening all at the same time at equal levels.
Uh-huh.
That's
Is there any that takes the protagonism somehow, or not?
I think the intensity of the gaze is misconstrued because of the fact that it's a photograph, and that actually the only thing that gives any sort of indication if there's like, because the eyes tell a lot, and I think because of the nature of it being an old photograph and having to take a long time to set and this kind of thing, and a bright light, it's really hard to tell. But I don't know if he recognizes that he's having a photograph taken of him. You know, I don't know if he's there.
Again, we are in the limit, in the border of what we see and what we presume.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if I said to you the facial expression was afraid, I think that's wrong. If it's happy, I think it's wrong. I think it's both.
Okay, got it.
It's like, is it ecstasy or I don't know. It's all. It's something that most people probably couldn't manifest their face to do.
That's interesting. Okay, look at it.
Me? I can look at it? Okay. Okay, the eyebrows slant, they're being pushed down. I didn't mention that. Yeah, the tongue is poking out. I can't really see the teeth. I don't know if he has any. I feel like his face is being manipulated into a position of more like anguish than may or may not be there. Do you know what I mean? By doing this, they're putting they're drawing an expression into his flesh. I thought in my head, I remembered them just moving the rods across, but they're actually pushing the eyebrows down to, I can't really do it on my face, but they're making it look, we have a word, furrowed, which is when the brows go down, which can mean a few things. But in this particular case, I think it's agony is what it's meant to look like, but it's forced. Maybe it's like, what do you call it? Maybe they're showing what they want him to look like to the camera. They're manipulating him.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Alex. So, Dora, which one is yours?
I chose a picture of where you can see stones and branches. There are two planes of the picture, like the front and the back. You can see different shapes on the picture, like lines on the photo, lines or like semicircles or circles. You can see different textures. Like there is on the lowest part, there is like some kind of a wood. And
So you mean the man like with the clocks?
No, there's only stones and branches.
Okay.
It's the third image.
Yes. This Japanese image. Did you choose this one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So then, are you looking at it now? No.
No.
Okay,
No.
so please try to describe it as much as possible.
So I saw two planes, like the front plane and the back plane. I saw branches that are super thin, and they have small branches coming outside of them. I saw stones, and they are all over the photograph, kind of. And then on the lowest part of the photograph is like some kind of a wood or chopped wood, because you can see different textures and the lines of that wood. I don't know. The stones, some of them I think are standing vertically, some of them horizontally. I know that there are some stone on top of the stone parts. I think one is on the left part of the, some kind of a small tower of the stones. It's a gray picture or a photo, black and white. Yes, I don't know what else. And the stones are not big and not super small. They're I would say palms size, and you can find them on beaches, and these stones are made usually the water is shaping them, so they are super smooth. So it's that kind of a stone that we are talking about.
Can you say how many stones, more or less?
I would say around 10 to 10, 12. I don't know.
On the first term, let's say the ones are clear, focused, let's say in the picture, around 10. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Any other thing? Sandra, Alex, would you like to ask something?
Why did you, of all of those pictures, choose this one?
I don't know. I liked it, and it's very. Now I'm going into not what I see, but what I think it is behind the picture, or it's presenting. It's very cold. It's like I have a feeling the time has stopped, and there is not too much to say in a way. I cannot think about what happened before or what will happen after. But the time froze, and it's very. I like this nature, and that it's supernatural or natural photograph, and yes, that's why I think I liked it, and then that's why I chose it.
Alex, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. Is there any stone that's not sitting on the ground or placed on the ground?
I know there are some stones on the stones, but I don't think that some stone is just in the air. I don't know, maybe it is, but I don't remember them flying around.
Is there any stone that is interacting with the wood in a special way?
I think some of them are leaned on the wood, or are yes.
Okay, have a look.
Just have to find it. Okay, some of them are in the wood.
Yes, like inserted or something. Especially one in the middle, almost in the middle of the photograph.
Yes, yes.
Would you add any other thing?
Another stone.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe 14. There is one broken. So, I mean, you could go through that. For example, in the middle, there are the two biggest stones are in the middle of the picture, making one of them is based on the wood, but the other is in a equilibrium with another little one under, and there is a piece of stone, so it's not a full one, but it looks like broken, no? Little one besides the biggest, and blah blah blah. So we did not finish it. It's a kind of very complicated image. So Sandra, which is yours?
Well, I think mine is maybe the simplest one. I think you will get it. So it's a black and white photo, and it's about one mirror, one girl, very sensual, and one little table. I mean, just a little chair. No, it's a chair.
A kind of ballerina, no?
I would say maybe not kind of ballerina dancer. It's kind of maybe cabaret or something like that, with the high heels and with a dress in layers. And she's very sensual, and her hands are flattering, and she's very satisfied. She's looking at herself, and she's very, well, not obsessed with herself, but she likes what she sees. And the right hand is approaching the mirror, and the right leg is a little bit loose, and the left hand is a little bit going to the diagonal, and the left leg is going a little bit, it's a little bit tight, and both legs are on the table, on the chair, and she's kneeling on this table, but something is on that table. It's like a material, I mean, something, or pillow. I don't know what is it, or it's a part of the dress. Her shoes are a little bit, I don't know, retro. It could be yellow or brown, the color. But she has nice, she has nice curls on the hair, and she has a nice makeup, and she's young and well, kind of happy, and it looks like she's about to come out to the stage, or she finished the.
Wait. Are you describing the image all the time?
Yeah.
Or you are someone there, including, for example, some opinions? I mean,
well,
she's having a very nice makeup. I do not agree.
Okay.
What makeup is she wearing on her eyes?
Well, I'm saying this to focus.
No, that's my question.
Underline. Or you say, for example, she's going she's minutes before going out the stage. How do you know?
I don't know. I just see. I mean, I can go without that, and I can just stay with these few sentences. First one, and how I know that. I mean, I saw that it's not a dramatic makeup. It's nice tan, face tan, and she has some kind of glitter, and this sounds nice. I mean, maybe maybe this is my opinion, but she has a makeup.
That's the point. So I totally respect your opinion,
Okay.
but an opinion is something that is not possible to see
Mhm.
because you have yours and I have mine, and who can say that is right or wrong? I mean, an opinion is something subjective, right?
Yeah.
While that, for example, if I say she has two hands, can anyone disagree? But if I tell you she's the son of a lawyer, sorry, the daughter of a lawyer, can anyone disagree?
Yeah.
So this is what I need to underline now. But let me ask you something. What is the part of her body that we can see reflected on the mirror?
Just the very small part of right hand or something. You can't see actually her through the mirror.
Mhm.
She's more open to the diagonal of the left one, and that's why I can see her layers and this pillow on the table. But I can see. I can remember that I couldn't see her face, her body, just the part of the hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dora, Alex, would you like to ask her some questions?
So,
I don't know how to ask this, but is there something like beneath her or on what she's like standing? Or you, at the beginning, you said that there is a chair or a table, a mirror, and a woman, and then you started to describe her. But do you remember, is there anything more? Like,
well, I mean, she's with both knees and like kneeling on the on this small table, and I'm not sure if her knees are on those layers or there is something, some kind of material. She's on the kneeling on the this small chair table, but what I remember else, I mean, I remember her fingertips. They're very like flattering. They're vivid. She put just a small curl on her lips. Like she's okay. I will not give my opinion. Just she's not. She's not angry. So she is not smiling, but something very satisfied is on her face. And what else?
is the mirror dirty or super clean?
Dirty. Since it's white and black. I mean,
But it's possible.
it's normal, clear. I don't remember. I didn't see like a dirty one. I did see like a normal mirror. Well, I didn't know that maybe this mirror need to be polished or something. I didn't see like that. I saw a mirror, just a mirror, and reflecting the hand.
Do you have any question for?
Yeah, two. First one's maybe a little bit nebulous, but what kind of age is she?
Oh, she could be, very good question. She could be like 25 to 30. It's young, vital. What, 18? Maybe 18. I mean, from 20 to 30, not more. I mean,
Okay,
she's
second question, what is she wearing on her head?
She has nice hair with the curls, but I don't remember. It's a very nice hairstyle, but I don't remember that she's wearing something on her head. Just nice curls with this nice strap or pathway, and everything is nicely done. It could be, let's say, since it's a noir picture, it could be a red-headed girl. But okay, it doesn't have to be. My opinion. Oh my God, no.
I will ask you now to start playing with imagination, because I mean, so look at it, Sandra,
Yeah.
and
No, she doesn't.
tell us if you'd like to add something.
Oh yeah. Me?
Yes.
Okay. So
Did you
I
see
forgot
something
that the part of the dress also can be seen on the mirror. I forgot that. Yes. And well, regarding dirtiness, maybe some kind of shadow, or it's an old mirror, and then we can see some shadows on the mirror. Yes, but it's old. Yeah, I saw it like not old.
It's not normal. I mean, I wouldn't say it's normal. It's everything but normal. As you said, now I'm curious about something stupid. You said the shoes might be yellow or brown.
Yeah, I saw that. I said that.
Yes. So why do you think that might be yellow or brown?
Well, maybe because they're lighter than the other part of the dress, or some parts of the mirror. They're lighter. I mean, they have different flesh. I could say that they could be brown or yellow. Yeah, I'm staying with it. Even the dress, it could be golden, a little bit layers of gold. So it can start with gold and then stop with brown.
Take some juice from this. This is the first part of the practice, and well, I mean, so you see how it works when we have an inspirational or starting point in front of us. Now it's an image. The power of the images are very remarkable, and then we are dealing with two different types of information. The one that is, let's say, well, here I would start using the words objective and subjective, but these words are really, really dangerous. So take them in a relative way. So meaning that for me, objective is something that everybody would agree, and it's really hard or impossible to deny. So, for example, when I said that this woman has two hands, this might be an objective information. So in an analysis, when we say analysis, we are trying to take as much as objective information from the picture. But then, of course, it comes what the image and what the parts of the image and the elements of the image are suggesting us and provoking us and inspiring us and making us imagine. Those, we can call it the subjective information that we can take from the image. Of course, this subjective information, mainly, it's ours. So it could be shared, so we can find someone who somehow agree or say, yes, for me it's the same, or not, meaning that it can be a unique point of view. In our dramaturgical plan, we are going to work always with both, of course. We are going to work with objective information, and we are going to work with subjective information. And sometimes we are somehow, we might be somehow trained to work with both of them more or less at the same time, or more or less simultaneously, but without never losing which is objective and which is subjective. Because when now slowly I am leading you into the main aspect of dramaturgy, which is the viewer, the audience, the one who is looking at something. In this case, the one who is looking at a piece that you've created by your own, or with your team, or whatever. So, because I can say that the dramaturgy it only has sense because we are creating or building something for other people see and enjoy and or hate or whatever. That is belongs to a target. So this is why we are dealing with dramaturgy. You wouldn't be interested in dramaturgy if your work you wouldn't want that your work is seen by other people. Do you agree this, or maybe not? Alex?
Yeah, but I was thinking maybe more personally, because I like making sort of like one-to-one work, or works that can't be recorded, and I have this preferential shyness to my own work that's kind of I hate people seeing my work, but if I'm working as a dramaturg, that's not my problem. So
no, well, methodology or way of doing or intention, whatever, in the end is for somebody. Watch it. I mean, you hate people.
I hate people. I said I'm shy. It's different.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, I can understand that. So you hate people, but then you somehow need people to let them know that you hate them. Because if you are alone in your room, or you lock yourself in the bathroom, and then there's nobody but you there, and then there you start hating people. What's the point? I mean, from the communication point of view, what's the point of that? This could be a ritual of self-destruction, or I don't know, a kind of autotherapy to get relaxed, or I don't know what. But do you agree that it's not a communication act?
I don't know. Like, I know some artists that do fucking hate people, and they mostly killed themselves in the end, but they made a lot of real great stuff by locking themselves in small. I mean, they're mostly aggressive musicians, but
then this means that people, it's you, so you hate you.
Yourself.
yeah, as I said, they kill themselves. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you hate you, the best way to find yourself is in the bathroom. But I mean, yeah, I mean, yes, we are in the communication act. Of course, there is a part of the communication act which is when we are communicating with ourselves. That's absolutely right, no? But you do not invest money, time, people, resources for build something that is going to be just for yourself. No, I mean, it is. I would say that this kind of things that are theoretically impossible. So I am always asking if you agree, because if you do not agree, maybe you open a path. But till now, I couldn't find this path. So I mean, Alex, would you agree that when you are building something for the stage, so let's focusing in performing arts, even if the message is I hate people or whatever, is for people watch it?
Yeah. It's a conversation. Yeah.
It is. Well, not always. Do you know Peter Handke play insulting the audience?
Yeah. I know about it. I haven't seen it, but I
It's
know
an
what
old
you're
one. I mean, it's from the 70s, I think, or from the 80s. I don't know. Remember? But in its time, and maybe now that we are living in those times that everybody gets angry or offended very easily. Now I think that piece would be interesting to refresh it. Anyway, if your aim is insulting the audience, you need audience. No?
Yeah.
Can you imagine yourself on the stage shouting, "Son of a bitch, you are stupid people," with nobody on the audience place sitting down there?
Yeah, I can imagine it, but it's not the same thing as having an audience. It's exactly what I might do, but it's not a performance. It's
And
just
we can imagine everything, of course, but then this is not going to be insulting the audience. It's going to be a cathartic self something. I don't know. But this is not insulting the audience. If there is no audience, I mean, we can go the philosophical line, and we're gonna start talking about the being, but no, exactly. So we in a dramaturgical, from the dramaturgical point of view, we are dealing with things that even the most abstract or untouchable or non-realistic or whatever are real. So meaning that all the subjective information that you took from those pictures is real. Is real, in this case, for you. And now the task is, and this is when dramaturgy, when you need dramaturgy, make it real for the viewer.
sorry. Okay. When you say make it real, you mean make what we see, they see,
Exactly.
or that's okay.
Yeah.
So
For
to show
example,
the image to the audience.
yes. For example, Sandra said that this woman is a burlesque or a cabaret performer.
Movement artist, yes.
So then you, I mean, in this case, you must do something to show me that, because I might not agree. So this is your vision. And then you will work, you will use dramaturgy, let's say, to communicate your vision to me. With the shoes, it's kind of easy, because you need a good costume designer, and you ask her or him to choose some yellow shoes for your performer. Then, when your performer is wearing yellow shoes on the stage, nobody can deny that she's wearing yellow shoes. You were really tired because I was trying to avoid that you start flying with your mind. Let's come back to the image, and now let's say that let's go to some subjective. So now it's time to fly. Now you can but. I will ask you that, if possible, any subjective information you take from the image somehow is linked with an objective one. And then we will see two different levels of subjective information. The one who is, for example, I will give you an example. In Sandra, the dress, so how the fit, the outfit of this performer pushes into the line of burlesque. Yes, why not? So, and then we can go that line, and somehow. But then what I said about that she's the daughter of the, what did they say? The tailor of the town. Then, yeah.
Lawyer.
So then this is another level of subjective information, because you can ask me, what in the picture makes you think that she is the daughter of the tailor? Nothing, no? It's just me inventing something from almost zero. Do you understand what I mean? So then you fly, you get some subjective, and we will try to make which one is coming from something that it's objective, and the one who is coming directly from you. Do you need some time, or let's go directly? Okay. So, for example, let's make the same order. Alex, this torturing image. Why? Can you remind me, why did you choose this?
I guess my subjective thing sort of answers that. I don't know who in this picture is mad. Are these two men mad, or is he mad? Who's mad? Okay. Which one? That's why I chose it. That's my subjective question, because maybe it's chicken egg, they inform each other, or is it the photographer? Who's evil, who's mad, who's in the right, who's in the wrong?
The photographer is the one who is mad. Anyway, for you, somehow it was clear from the beginning that it's about madness.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let me find it. Take all the subjective information you can, or you want.
Am I looking at it again?
Yeah, you can look at it. Yes.
Hang on, I need to go back. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, my computer's frozen. Sorry. Okay. There is. Okay. Am I still? Yeah. Okay. So he's wearing spectacles. There you go. Subjectively, I think you have a poverty divide. Like, obviously, this person who, the gentleman at the top, who is dressed quite like he's of a different class, say, wouldn't be allowed to experiment on somebody who was of equal status or standing. That would a family of, like, nobility or something, allow this photograph to happen. So this is dealing with madness and poverty, I guess. That could be a subjective thing. Oh, you want more? Okay.
No. Whatever. I mean, so who is this man?
I'm going to say that the gentleman who's got the collar with the sort of ruff and this kind of thing, who's standing the tallest one hierarchically within the picture, with his assistant who is down subliminally subordinate, are perhaps philanthropists who have allowed this cameraman to take a picture of their work, which is working in an insane asylum, in their radical treatments for madness, whatever they've defined that to be, and that they're working with people who have been cut out of society for one reason or another, for behavioral issues, and that they're doing it in this charitable way that essentially means that they take over society's problems and that they're very fucking arrogant, and they do this because they think they're solving God's problems, and they're probably very Christian.
Okay, if I ask you, if I ask you, do you think, from your point of view, that this man looks like a madman?
I think this person is suffering. I don't know if they are mad or if they've been pushed to madness. I think there's a difference. And perhaps the way that they've been treated by these two upstanding gentlemen physicians has, like, maybe this is someone who was a problem within a family because of, like, I don't know, drinking problem or provocative opinions, I don't know, and was pushed into an asylum and tortured and worked on, like, you know, electroshock therapy, all these radical things, until the point where they weren't themselves anywhere and were mad. But if you can't presume that they were always like this, but they've ended up because of these two men in that position.
You said something important now. So when we jump into words, meaning that all the subjective information that we get, and especially when we communicate it first to our team and then to the audience, is full of tricky words, meaning tricky that might not be the same for you than for me, for example. So, for example, if this image is the starting material for your next piece, and you must, I think, you should share it with your people, your performers, and the subject might be about madness, let's say. So then here it's important to, let's say, work all together in what is madness. Because madness for you may be something, and for me is maybe something completely different.
Well, I think that's why I kind of chose it, because of the uncertainty of how I felt about the expression, and like, because there's like quite a few times in my life where somebody who's like very obviously lives on the streets and is on drugs at the time has looked at me and looked right through me, and I'm pretty sure seen everything that I've ever done that's wrong, and that's my like feeling. And it's like, I'm not mad, they're not mad, the whole world is mad. And it's this, but it was a very powerful, you know, thing. And so I think the reason that these pictures of these crazy people in these situations in an asylum, whatever, is particularly disturbing is because we see the humanity in their eyes, but it's like supernatural human.
Okay, because but without go that far, let's say, myself, I can tell you what I see in the photo, in the picture, is that this man is not mad at all. So I cannot see any trace of madness here. I can see two men torturing another one. They might have good reasons to do that, or this is putting under, you know, question marks. But in the expression of the man, I see fear, because I would imagine, as you said, for example, the expression of the eyes completely different if there is kind of madness here. So here I cannot see but then you would say, Carlos, I don't agree. So because here this is a discussion. This is from a kind of objective starting point information.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think the cameraman is like, there is madness here because to take a picture of someone being tortured is mad. That's mad. But it's not him. No? But there is a madness in any like it's like you're filming somebody dying, like a snuff film. This is mad. Or sick.
Yes. I like to see the one behind the camera, like close to the audience. Of course, the audience of a snuff movie is not we might agree that it's not. I mean, it's very sane, but yes, or yes. You know, in this question between when we talk about the bad and the good, the sane and the insane, these binomials that we need to get as close as possible to reality, it's always an approach. So that's why, for example, when remember the trial of Heinrich Eichmann, yes. When Hannah Arendt put on the table the word the banality of evil. So meaning that suppose that someone who is responsible of that many people dying in a way that it's a monster, we imagine, like, but in the end it's a clerk. It's a normal person, common person that has a wife, has children, has a family, goes to work, likes his work. So reality is not that easy sometimes. No, it's not the good and the bad. So the monster and the victim.
Yeah, but I think this for me also like has that sort of resonance of like there's a very famous image of a starving African child right before they fall over and die, and instead of doing anything about it, the journalist, like a bomb about to land, whatever, the journalist takes the picture because it's more important to tell people about the suffering than to help the sufferer type thing, which in this way, like we were talking about snuff films, and it's like, anytime you watch coverage of like war in Ukraine, whatever, like we're watching a snuff film. Journalism is, so it's like we are the audience. It's very complicated. But we're not obviously thinking that about ourselves because we're not like on the dark web being like, yeah, I want to see some horrible things because I know I'm a bad person. It's like we're in the position of thinking like almost more from the position of these like men doing the work. Like,
well, it can be a claim for the future. So I am the photographer. I am doing this picture for let people know how brutal they treat people with problems nowadays, meaning 1890 something, in a hospital house. So I can understand that the photographer is an ill man, as you said, but maybe he's the one who is the only one is not ill there. Claro, exactly. So then this is when you start working with a point of view. We are closer and closer to politics because dramaturgy is a political fact as well. In how you when you start adding subjective information to your notebook, let's say, you start already creating the piece, and behind the piece there is an ideology, because it's not the same if I decide that the photographer is a sick person who likes photographing people torture, then a very brave man that wants to put that everybody knows the brutal things that they are doing in that hospital. So it depends on the decision I take here. The ideology of the piece is going to be relevantly different, significantly different. But nobody can deny that here there is some people torturing another one. Do you see what I'm trying to communicate you?
Yeah.
About the objective and the subjective. Now we could move on and let's say put this into a brainstorming and ask Dora and Sandra to join the brainstorming, and then now you can discuss with Alex about the subjective information you take from this image.
So we can ask Alex, or we can make our own suggestions.
Sandra, letting fly your imagination, what can you see from this picture?
Oh yeah, I have a different picture from her. I mean, totally.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there is. It's like when you said it's very short line between monster and victim, and we can change some roles. And I saw madness somewhere, because this is. I mean, my first imagination. I mean, my first image was it's about crazy man, but afterwards when I saw this picture, it's about, like we said, it's about fear, and it's about this man is totally scared, and it's freaked out, and why not? I mean, look what they are doing to him, but I don't see him as, I mean, he could be also the part of this society who are doing to him now. He might be kind of, I don't know, he looks terrifying now, because I think they tortured him till the death, but he could be the right person or on the left. He could be the doctor or somebody who let's say, find out about some truth, and they wanted to silence him, and you know, he becomes mad.
This, for example, this is a kind of information of the second level of subjectivity.
I think they definitely want to silence him. But no, but even if that's just from, like, you know, like out of sight, out of mind. Like, the torture is a means so that they can, if they don't torture him, they can't keep him, because if he gets better, he goes out to society and he says what they did to him.
Yeah.
So they have to silence him.
But you say, I mean, he has a terrible secret that if he talks, the government of the council would be really ashamed and must leave his place in the council. This kind of things is let's say imagination, meaning the second level of subjectivity. So there's nothing here that makes me think that he has information, very important information about one relevant public character, no? Do you understand what I mean? But so it's not, I mean, I am, don't misunderstand me, please. So, because I am not saying that this is useful and this is not, I am not saying this at all. I am saying that when you are working in a dramaturgical frame, you must be aware of everything that is going on. So all your decisions, you must be aware of them when you are taking them. But you have the freedom of design. But this decision must be conscious. So all the decisions, dramaturgical decisions, must be conscious. So there is nothing that, you know, and then when you start working with these materials, it's very easy. It happened when you started describing objectively, let's say, the images. It's very, 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 very easy that we mix without really knowing what we are doing, the objective and the subjective information. And then this is a chance to create misunderstoods that misunderstanding meaning that the communication is not proper between yourselves, between your team, and then between you, your team, and the audience. So, in other words, when you look at this photo and you take as much as objective information as possible, that many times is going to be useful for some putting on the stage decisions, for example. We agree that it looks like in the end of 19th century, no, maybe in the beginning of 20th century. But then you can see, you said Kubrick, you talk about the Kubrick film, right? So then we can say, oh yeah, but let's put this retro-futurista aesthetics of Kubrick in Clockwork Orange, or an absolutely nowadays aesthetic, for example. But then you take this decision knowing what you are doing and knowing that the starting point of view is the end of 19th century. And then when you want to change the aesthetics, you will have very strong reasons to do that. It's not only because it's cool, but you will have reasons to do that. Remember, another example that I used to use a lot is the Romeo and Juliet, Leonardo DiCaprio bench. Did you see it?
The Baz Luhrmann film, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I do really hate him. But anyway, it's about an experiment, which is, from the point of view of the experiment, is interesting, meaning that the text was Shakespeare in verse, with the old English, keeping the old English stuff and everything. But then the aesthetics was like, LA, Miami Vice aesthetic, no? The people with guns and flowerful shirts, and that was the aesthetic. So then, I know that it was an experiment, and I say again that the experiment was interesting per se. In my opinion, it didn't work, but somehow it was interesting. But The point is when somebody is saying, "Oh, I want to make a Shakespeare modern," and the only thing that they do to make it modern is to change the clothes and the places of the play. This is not enough. If they continue saying, "Oh my lord, oh my lady," so then you need to touch the text as well, and you need to touch some conceptions as well, and you need to touch some intentions, and then this dramaturgy, the dramaturgy of making something from the past, making it at the present. This is a dramaturgy that must go till the last of consequences when you are putting in the present some piece from the past.
Don't you think, though, that some of the casting provides like a racial element to gang warfare that was specific to Miami? That, like, I can't say his name, but whoever plays Tybalt being Latino, and then having these things like, I mean, for me, like, it's 90s gang war culture, which obviously in the early 90s is a huge problem in America. So it's relevant. Like,
you are right. But I mean, when in a dramaturgical process, every day you are taking 20, 50 political decisions. Of course, it's not the same as Yago. Yago is a black performer or a white performer. No?
Mm-hmm.
It's it can change the play completely. Othello is Othello A, Othello B, and then this is two Othello. Only casting for Yago. Without touching any other thing, let's say, only this might introduce remarkable messages and signs in the putting on the stage. So this is why, I mean, you are dealing all the time with objective and subjective information. This is the work. So the work is like you are dealing all the time with both of them. So if you can take some benefit from the exercise, is that you must be aware of it. So, for example, Dora, your subjective here in the stones. Mm-hmm. This is a kind of Japanese thing, no? I mean, this thing they do for, I don't know how they call it, to make peace and love.
Yeah. My subjective would be that maybe there was like a wind, and that's why stones fell down from the wood. They were before one on top of the other in some kind of an order. Someone was like really putting them. They had their own place.
A human,
yes. And then the wind came and started to blow, and that's why they ended up everywhere. Also, the branches, they don't have some flowers or something on them, because everything is messed up because of the wind. And I think the sun is shining from the left because I can see shadows. So I think even though the picture is or the image is black and white, without the filter, it would be a sunny day, like after the storm.
After the storm.
Or yes, or after the wind, like very strong wind that messed up some kind of or human-made order.
And pushing you a little bit farther, is it, how can I say? So is it an interpretation of this?
You think, is it the image interpretation of?
I mean, if you take some learning from this, or is just the wind moving the stones?
I mean, first thing that I would say is like it's only wind moving the stones, but now when I think of it, it can be like there can be a meaning of nature paying us back what we are doing.
Yeah, what the human build, nature destroys.
Yeah.
Something. Sandra, Alex, you can brainstorm.
Yeah, I was going to say for me, maybe it was a shrine. I often find this when I walk around, maybe it's an Australian thing, but the three stones, specifically three on top of each other as like a reference point at a place of significance. I know definitely it's Indigenous people have done that before, but because they're placed all like around this wood or whatever it is, it's like concentrated again and again, the same repetition. It has a kind of maybe not holy, but sacred thing to it, because it's humans playing with the nature for in a very like it seems like sort of loving way, you know. Tender.
Sandra, you want to say something?
Well, I had a picture of, there is one, I don't know if you remember, it was like 10 years ago, one Japanese movie about, it was on the lake, you know, house on the lake, monk and his student, and the title of the movie was Spring, Summer, Winter, Spring, and three dots. And I saw those pictures about mortality and temporality. So those two things like branches and this stillness in the nature, and what we can learn from this image and structure of the stones and branches and the soil reminded me on that two images. Like we are living from season to season. We are in beautiful nature, and what we can read from that is about our temporality in the world, and how we are structures like those stones in the ground, sometimes mixed up and sometimes very still and structured. So yeah, I saw those pictures like about the life, about the stillness, about communication between nature and us and environment, something like that.
I wonder. I got it. I wonder what would happen if we would do a film, a 2-hour film, with this image, without changing the image. just with some wind, as Dora suggested, the wind is very important in her dramaturgy. So
Yeah,
make-
it's important.
making that it's easy to see that there is some wind, but the image will not change in 2 hours. So maybe, do you think people will ask the money of the ticket back? Well, okay. So who knows?
I mean, most of the people, yes, but I think there are still people that like something. Nowadays, we are used to everything changing in front of us and the small screens and a lot of information at a very small period of time. But I think some people still are enjoying something long, durational, and something monotone, but they find something in there. I mean,
The question is let them know that when we are doing this kind of things, that are connected with time and space, in space because we are creating some expectations. So many people that would get nervous. For example, there is the last film of Akira Kurosawa, it was called the Dreams or something, The Dreams of Akira Kurosawa. There is one scene which is a sandstorm, and then you cannot see nothing. I mean, you see nothing. It's like the sand, gray and black. But it takes like 20 minutes, I think, more or less. This scene. He's doing. Yeah.
I've thought of something else. I don't know if it's objective or subjective, but in Dora's picture, it's a man-made world without any men or people. It's an anthropocenic, like there's no humans, but it's obviously that they were there. So there's an absolute lapse.
So the point is that the person who gets nervous at cinema while seeing this almost 20-minute, let's say, nothing happened or no changing image, the same image, is somebody who can spend 1 hour sitting down in front of El Guernica de Picasso in Museo del Prado. It's not about that the audience cannot do this, It's about that it depends on where they are and what do they expect. So they are becoming disappointed, nervous, or whatever. So if you can manage to, for example, Dora would use this image for a performance, and I don't know, so now we only have a very, very little information about that. But if the, let's say, intention is that the audience sit down and look at it and spend the time needed or whatever to enjoy the wind, to enjoy how the little stones are moving, and to get somehow getting some peace from this. If you can manage the way to organize it on a performing arts environmental, it could work. The question is that many people, when go to the theater, they expect, for example, a story. Something happened. Something died. Some couple gets in love. Blah blah blah. So then maybe one task of a dramaturgy might be first deleting or putting in zero the expectations of the audience.
What if it was kind of like a transmedial piece? Like if, let's say, sorry, I can't remember. Were you in Croatia, Dora? Yeah, okay. So let's say like you went all around Zagreb and you made these stones into 3 pieces for like a couple of months or something, and people kept spotting them and being like, what's that? What's that? And then eventually when they come to see the piece, it's already happened so many times in these instances that the stones are like hypnotizing, but that, you know, in itself, obviously this could, I mean, maybe it doesn't work, but it's a piece that is about like people collecting stones actually before they even see the work.
It's a brilliant example. So the pre-performance, saying something, is already dramaturgy, and very in a very intelligent one. Sandra, give us your subjective impressions from this girl.
Wasn't I enough subject? Okay.
Well,
okay,
you already started saying that she's almost to go out to the stage.
Yeah. It's a let's say 18th century. She's about to go to the stage. She's preparing herself. It's very, I would say, this picture is about sensuality, reflection, bringing awareness to here and now. Where is she? Interference a little bit with divine, because look at her, she's very, she's enjoying in what she sees, and it's about, it could be about also mirroring, you know, repeating some things, preparing for the show, learning from, I don't know, environment, what she can learn. I mean, what is in front of her. Well, it's a nice preparation for going to the stage. It's about, it could be about somehow preparing herself, her vulnerability for the stage.
Is it her first day, maybe?
I wouldn't say she's not tense, and she's quite well. What can I see? I mean, it could be like, but I think she has experience, and she's just making connection with herself through this mirror, and she's ready. She wants to go there. I can see, and
you can brainstorm, Alex, Dora.
Maybe she's going on to like a silent film set, and she's like obsessing about her image in this mirror, and people are going to look at her, and it's like the first time she's done a film. It looks maybe a bit of maybe historical film, like I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. It can be also the picture of that, the story, like. Yeah, it could be. It doesn't have to be a dance. It can be shooting for the movie.
And also, I would say that, she has the main role, or there, because I don't know, because it's only her probably in the image. But I'm in whatever setting, is it the performers or movie set or whatever. For me, she's the main character.
So it's about her. and her big moment. So I mean, this is in the line, but it could be. Many people would agree that she's ready for a big moment or a moment that it's important for her. Jesus. No, but this is not objective, neither. So there are, levels and levels depending on, how we graded the obvious and towards the fantasy or our imagination. Do you have any questions? Yeah.
I it's just because I found it really weird in this image that they cut her face in the middle. Like they obviously, for me, it's like this is looking at her body. And you said, Sandra, about the sensuality, but if she was famous already, they would put the face, no question. So there's something about that they have cut her face in half that strikes me as very strange, and that in some way whoever took the picture is more interested in the costume than her. Like, she might be the main role, but she doesn't matter. The image says that to me somehow.
Well, yeah. It's interesting. Well, what is clear is that as the photographer decided don't show us her face on the mirror, then that makes us think. Then why not? Then you can say A, B, C, D, so whatever.
Yeah.
But it's an important sign. A decision completely made on purpose.
Yeah, but there is, I think there is a moment of mystery here. I think we don't have to see from the mirror, and from we see her very well, and she's. I don't think that if she's not on the mirror that she's not important. I think she has something, and maybe she will be rewarded now. Maybe she finished her I don't know, dancing, playing, acting. Maybe she's expecting now, the flowers, and she will come back to the stage, and yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe she's going to go out to the stage, start her act, and suddenly one angry young man from the audience with a gun stands up and shot her, and she will die the first day of her performing job on. Exactly.
It can be also, yeah.
Exactly. Well, do you have any question about what we've done, or anything to say? No. Was it clear for you somehow? Okay. So, is it enough? I mean, if we make a half an hour break, could you check a little bit the music and have a coffee and the rest? Yes, is it okay?
Did you want us to select it like a track, like we did with the image, or just listen?
No, this was connected with Kafka, no? If I remember well.
What?
With Kafka.
Is this like 2 weeks ago now?
It was last time, no?
Last time we needed to.
What did we do?
The session you missed was the text. Oh, what a pity. I wanted to hear everything about the subtext from you.
Okay, I can reread the text. So I'm trying to connect the text to the music.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can pick some things up. Anyway, it's recorded, so you will have the session recorded, but we can do that. Yeah. Okay, so see you in 30 minutes.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so the last question we did about is like, you had the option of work with silence or maybe to use some music. Then we could see the requirements of both options. For example, Dora, what is your option?
Well, in last session, we were discussing that maybe the silence would support very good the proposition that I had. So I would stick with the silence, but if I had to choose music from this, like now when I was listening these tracks, I was trying to hear which one would fit the best the proposition I had, and if in the case where I have to choose a music, I would choose this one, Mai Podrà Acabar.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't have there is a voice, or the music is like they are singing like some kind of a choir or woman voice, they are singing, but the word there are no words, it's just the voicing of not words that we can understand. And I think that supports the some kind of the idea that I had, and it's very it doesn't it doesn't fit into, I cannot describe it in a way, and it's also, I mean, in the colors I see it gray or some darker colors like the sound, and I think that also supports the text somehow. It's not something very dancey, or it doesn't have the words that have a meaning that we can connect with and I think that there are these moments of silence where the performance and the performer can use it with their own voice. So if I had to choose, it would be this one.
It's a good choice. I mean, you can combine this piece with silence.
Mm-hmm.
So even you can make those longer, or start in silence and then in a certain moment the little voices comes in and then stop again, and then you can manage it easily. And if the original proposal feeling that you had was silence, I think you must listen to that. Okay, Sandra, what's your proposal?
Yeah, I just realized that I have sent you something. You remember last time when we were talking about music, I sent you my music. Like I didn't know that okay, but I have these microlutes for string quartet, and it's something.
Let's listen to yours.
Well, it's similar to this one because my mood is, we are waiting, we are in expectation, we are in the angles, and the everything is like in atmosphere, and it's very dark moments, you know, like it's raining or something. So the music is also that kind of mood. Of,
Yes, the Kurtak, you mean the Kurtak piece, Microludes for string quarter.
yeah, but this one is also nice for my piece, Microludes for string quartet.
Why did you choose yours?
I don't know. I thought that I need to choose mine.
No, yeah. I asked it to you, but I mean, why did this music take your interest?
Well, because I thought it's responding to this mood and images of waiting and what was I creating? Standing in the corner, observing the space, all this mysterious and very slow structure of the dramaturgy, shifting, making eye contact. So I was thinking something very slow, because I put my music, because I like those Nordic music, you know, Nordic music are very still, very slow, but something is, you know, evoking from them some mystery, life philosophy. I don't know.
And then do you think it could be replaced by Kurtak?
Yeah. I mean, this one is a little bit stronger than mine, but you know, it's also developing the situation. So it's starting from, you know, very slow rhythm, and then gradually the volume is going up. And I could also build this dramaturgy and this mood through this music. It's not a problem. It just has to be something very slow and still and that kind of mood. So I can, for example, circus fish. Maybe it's too much.
Yeah, no. It's a different thing. Okay. Alex?
So the name, so obviously my concept's not very developed, but the one I chose was the Anvil Chorus. Just liked it. I guess I related it to the sort of overstimulated nature of the text, slightly pathological, in that he's obviously like taking note of all these things and presupposing himself as her, as like, how is she not amused? If I was her, I would be, I mean, not amazed though. It's a lot of mental energy, and I put that down to like metal energy, because there's a lot of clanging and I guess, you know, like the mind ticking. But this is a very base, quick read.
Yeah, I mean, here we should connect it with your vision. So the feelings, the images, the moods that you took from the text, how you organize the different moments, because we were planning this for a solo, so working with one performer, and then comes the music. The music is part of what some people call the sound space, meaning that everything that we can consider sound, which is not necessarily music. So music is sound, but not all of sounds are music. Belongs to this space. I like to consider it like a space. It's like a kind of fourth dimension, because it helps a lot. I mean, it's needed. I think it's a must to take care of it, whatever, if it's music or sound, or because gives this extra layer in what we are doing, and connect with the other layers, connect with space, connect with time, of course, because with time it's very clear that a piece of sound space, it has a concrete time with, minutes, seconds, etc., and the feelings and the emotions and the atmosphere we need to create on the stage. Let's see, for example, 3 different scenarios. One will be the silence. Silence, silence is a kind of conception which in the physical world, it doesn't really exist. So the pure absolute silence, it doesn't exist. So would you agree this? What might happen when you put a piece or do a piece on the stage in silence, let's say, so you decided do not use any kind of sound, then what happened?
I guess you hear the sound of the architecture. You might hear the sound of bodies moving in space, or breathing of the audience, or the creaking of chairs, or humans in an environment. You might hear traffic, you might hear weather, you might hear things that are being said or done on or off stage. It's kind of there's always a soundscape.
Exactly. So then you must count on that. So meaning that, for example, Dora, that you had the idea of working with silence. Once you organize the things that you like to see on the stage, you, from the practical point of view, should know as well as possible the space that you are going to do the performance. Because, maybe it depends on the venue. You can get somehow, for example, isolated from the outside. So then, for example, ambulances or a storm or whatever might be not listen or very slightly listen. But, for example, you still would have the sounds that will come from the people, from the audience.
Yes, what I like in silence, and when I think about it in a performative way, is I have a feeling that it's giving a focus to, as a spectator, as a viewer, as someone who came to the performance. If you see, you don't want to move so much because you will maybe make some noise, and it kind of gives it gives a focus to the performance. I don't know if, yes. And in this case of this, this Kafka text and solo, I mean, we were talking something about people moving and really being close to the performer. So I think it adds this really, like you will see every movement and it's very, it's there. And the music is not distracting you. It's,
makes the performers their body more physical, more there, more presence. Then, and the time somehow the audience feels the time in a different way. In this case, you have one performer, which then remember that when we said that the most we focus on details, and somehow logically more and more people on the stage makes more noise somehow. No? There's more breathing, more steps on the floor, and so it's just that you need to take care of it. So I think it could be really interesting to connect it with the subject of your piece, and in this line of making as much as real as possible the situation on the stage, because music is always a step towards poetry, metaphor. It starts giving automatically another level, because mainly in life there is no music. I mean, if you know what I mean. So when we are talking with somebody or whatever, so there is with this in nowadays it's a kind of paradox, because as far as there is background music in many places that we used to go, for example, a commercial center or a clothes shop, you enter and there is music. In a bar or in a cafe, you enter and there is music. In some places that I really want to kill the people who invented this, there is music in the metro. So in Barcelona, last time I was in Barcelona, at 7 o'clock in the morning, in one metro station, I was listening to the third Shostakovich symphony. I don't know who the hell had this idea, but then you are there and you cannot escape from that. Or in some concrete moments of the year, for example, Christmas, in the street, in some places, there is music connected with Christmas.
Can I just ask, are you talking, because we do this in Australia at train stations at a certain pitch that only teenagers and dogs hear, to make sure that they don't sit and drink, and is that what you like, terrorism noise, or is meant to be nice?
No. The people from the metro decided that there is a background music while you are there in the station waiting for the metro.
Oh, because we also do this thing in public toilets where we play classical music so that junkies don't hang out.
Really?
Yeah, for 12 minutes and then the door opens. It's like this, like strategic.
So then we can add these, no? I mean, we can add this, the music in the background music in the toilets. No, this is in Spain, in Spanish, from a very long time ago. We call it hilo musical. Like, you know, it's like background music that. But what happened? I mean, what happened with this? This happened that the music is there, but normally people do not listen to it. It's there, giving, of course, what people cannot avoid is somehow unconsciously get a mood. So the big companies of clothing knows that, and knows the type of music they have to use in a shop that you feel very, I don't know, happy and well spending money. No, I don't know. So there is not for at random that they are using this music, but nobody is listening to it. In the case of Shostakovich, I don't really know what was in the mind of the people who put this, because what inspires to me is jumping in front of the metro when I was listening to Shostakovich. And I don't think this was the purpose of the people who decided let's put some classical music as a background in the metro, because classical music, with meaning that everything which is not rock and roll or pop is classical music. I mean, then Mozart is classical music and Shostakovich is classical music as well, which is something really stupid. But well, okay, let's put something because people will feel relaxed. And in the metro, people might be relaxed. I don't know exactly why, but people might be relaxed in the metro because there's too much people, and then they are scared about big concentrations of people. I don't know. So I don't really know. In the bars or in the restaurant, it's clear as well, no? The purpose of why they use music. But the point is that after a while, one citizen gets used to music without paying attention to it. This is important for us because we are in the, this dramaturgical process, taking dramaturgical decisions, spending sometimes hours or days looking for the music we really think that is going to work. And then, we need to fight against this habit. Let's call it like this, that people is getting more and more of having music and don't listening to it. This is one of the main things that we need to know when we are dealing nowadays with music, especially because when it's not alive music. The alive music is a different question, because as far as the musicians are there, like the performers, then people has a different relationship that when the music is recorded, sounding, with the general headphones, like if they were in Zara or in I don't know, in the metro in Barcelona. So this is not going to use it at all. To combine silence, let's say this no music with music, it's good in this sense because the law of contrast is helping a lot in making the audience aware of that there is a music, and the music is there because it has a function. We choose the music because it helps our conception of dramaturgical conception, but it helps as well the performers to jump in our dramaturgical conception. That is a very important thing. And again, the end of the triangle, it helps the audience to got our dramaturgical conceptions. What is another dangers of using music?
I guess obviously copyrights, if you don't have that shit sorted.
For sure.
But also
you can
people
have
have
very serious problems.
yeah, but I guess also people have completely unique or already if your father used to have argument with your mother and play this one song or type of music or whatever, and you get an unexpected reaction, I personally don't particularly like jazz, and someone might be like, well, this is the mood I want, and I'm like, well, when that's not what they, so it's a entirely, I wouldn't say entirely subjective, but it's people's taste in music is usually more varied than the people's. I mean, if you come to see a performance that's cutting edge and you play classical music, you would kind of expect most of the audience to have a response to that that's like, why? Because
I totally agree. So music is a really powerful tool. Very, very, very powerful. And then we should be really careful and try a lot. So, because many times the choreographer comes one day with the music, and then this is it. You like it or not. But I think the attitude might be a little bit different. So you should try with different. You have 2, 3, maybe 4 different tracks, pieces, and try and see first the reaction of the performer. Then maybe if you're in the middle of the process or something, you can. I love inviting people from a certain moment to the rehearsals, people that knows the less as possible about what we are doing. So then they have a kind of fresh reaction. And see what's going on. So how this music that we've chosen is working mainly. Besides as you saw in this list here, there is different kind of music in the set from the point of view of the impact that they are producing. So there is some music which is kind of very intrusive. It imposes very strongly one attitude or one mood or one feeling. And there is another music that is more abstract and then more flexible. Maybe because you can use it in different contexts, because it's not going to give you the romanticism feeling, the nostalgia feeling, or the happiness feeling, or whatever. It's a little bit much more open than others. So then it's the moment when you because it can help a lot, or it can bother a lot, the music. So one of the first performances I saw after the pandemic is one of my favorite Hungarian dance company. I love them because I really love their shows. But this one I saw, the music killed me. Kill me all the enjoyable chances I had from the visuals, from the concept, was absolutely eaten by the music. And this happened to me, maybe to other people, I don't know. The people it was with me felt something like that, and then it's a pity because even there was like 1 hour and 20 minutes with no stop the music at all. So there was not even one moment of rest, which in the world of sounds, the contrast, the combinations, the tonalities, and the rhythms is a composition exactly the same as when you are painting with colors, but when you are creating the sound space, you are painting, let's say, with sound. And then, it's not only about to put a track and then let it go for 1 hour and 20, if you understand what I mean. So even there were moments that from the visual, because there is, when we are talking about performing art, music and sound becomes visual as well. Because we see the music and we see the sound in combining the movement of the performers, so what's going on the stage. So then it's another perspective of visual as well, meaning that we can see the music. It's not only about listening to it, but we can always see it while there is, even if the space is empty. If you have people in front of a space and you put some music, it's not exactly the same when you are at home listening one opera from your CD or from your computer. So it's not exactly the same feel. What else? You talk about as well about the lyrics, when the music is instrumental or when the music is a song. We already mentioned this last week, that when you are using a song that has lyrics, those lyrics becomes text of the performance. And this is very, very important, because many people sometimes choose a song because they like the mood they get from the song, but they don't take care about the lyrics. And then it depends on the lyrics. There could be very interesting things on the stage. No? For example, neither of you have chosen a song here, right? Because you said the Anvil Chorus. Well, this is but Kurtagnon music and Mai Podrà Acabar music. Sorry, no lyrics. But then it's interesting as well. I like to do this sometimes, to put a song. And to put a song, of course, if you are planning that the lyrics become part of what's going on the stage, with the language of the people that's going to share the main group of the audience. I mean, if you put a song in Polish, the performance is in Spain, so nobody will understand the lyrics. So then maybe you need a reason as well to use a song with lyrics in a language that the audience is not able to understand. Okay, and then you can, combine the real time and real place sounds, the silence that you achieve, meaning that you are not going to use music, and sounds that you create especially for the show. Would you think about a couple of examples for your piece of sounds effects, they call it. You said sounds that you would use for combine with your option? or maybe not.
I just had a very quick re-listen to mine, and I thought about if I recorded the sound of dropping lots of cutlery and just added it in, because it kind of sounds like that. But then it's also a domestic, public, private thing, because he's having private thoughts in a public place. I don't know.
Sandra?
Yeah, I was thinking before I put the music, this one and that one I sent you. I wanted to be in some kind of, since we are talking about on the tram, I was thinking about to use this natural street sound, like honking, sound of tram, a sound of murmuring, or something like people talking, or someone's dropped the umbrella, or this kind of sounds. So if I'm using the music, then I could maybe combine a little bit of effect
I
of
think
tram.
Sandra, you must be angry with me and very, very strong saying that, no, I want my music. So I send the music to you and I want to use that and no other option. I mean, I don't know. This is as well.
No,
If it's,
no.
yeah.
I like options, you know, I
Okay, let's leave it like that. Yeah, but you know, to choose music, normally, I don't know in your case, but in my case, it's not easy. So I used to spend a lot of time choosing the music. Besides, you know, the other big option is when you work with a composer that makes the music for you. Then this composer is another member of the team, and again, as the performers and as the others, he or she must jump into the dramaturgical process as well, because then is when, and then sometimes, you know, sometimes to communicate with a musician is not easy. It's not easy in the sense that what we were saying before, like you know, everybody gets at a certain open-minded and relaxed brainstorming in order that the ideas can flow. And then, especially the only is with like with the performers, the only way of seeing really if somebody understood you is watching them working. So with a composer, a composer must be with you in the rehearsals, working with the performers, must get the feedback from the performers as well, must make a kind of proposal, and then from this proposal, you see if it's fitting or not. Of course you will talk, but it's not about talking and talking and talking and talking, because, you know, this is not really working, because sometimes I was extremely detailed with a musician, and then but then he understood or she understood something different, and so it's better to involve them as well. In this is very important that they are in the rehearsal, and normally they are not, or they come only when they come with the music, and then of course they stay there, and then they see how it's working, but they must be there from zero, from the minute zero. Performance. Dora, what would you do? Would you use any sound?
I don't think so. I think not in this piece.
I mean, you will have the real sound.
I
So
mean,
then it's maybe it's enough to deal with that. No? Like, and then yes, the copyright, the permissions, the money you must pay. Don't forget this. It could be very annoying. Now, in more and more theaters, more and more venues, they ask you a list of tracks from your show and permissions as well. So something that it didn't happen, but and now in many places they don't. But more and more it starts working like this, and be sure that somehow you have the permission or you pay for that, and don't risk, because I don't know. It depends on the country and depends on the many people. I mean, nothing very tragical can happen. Only that maybe afterwards they will ask you the money. So if you make a performance with X sounds, and maybe that is like, you know, now like in YouTube or Vimeo or SoundCloud, they have already algorithms who detects and blocks the music of your video, if blah blah blah. That is still far from what can happen on a venue, but you should take care of that. It's something that it cannot be done. I remember in the 80s or in the 90s, it was like everybody was doing what they wanted and using music what they wanted, and nobody paid for anything. But nowadays it's different. Okay, my dear, today is our fourth session, right? If you, because I give you the chance, if you like it to continue, write me an email and tell me what would you like to do. Would you like to continue or not? And then now ask me whatever you want, or you feel maybe there is a lot of things we didn't talk about, but I mean, it's a lot of things. But I don't know if you have any curiosity or anything to say. No. You are not curious people.
I really am in a rush now, so I
Okay.
have to go.
Yeah. It's
I will definitely write you an email today, later, or maybe tomorrow morning when I'll have a bit more time. But yeah, thank you for these sessions. And I am really glad that we met, and Alexandra and Sandra, of course. Sandra, I hope that
Likewise.
we will see each other somewhere in Zagreb.
Yeah. Hopefully, yes.
But yes, now I'm really happy.
Okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. Write it to me, and then I will inform you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a nice
Bye,
week.
Dora.
Bye.
Bye. I would like to thank you also as Dora.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandra.
No, I'm not rushing. I just wanted to say that I'm interested in next classes, but I will not be. I'm like 2 weeks on my journey now around Europe a little bit. I will go, tomorrow to Porto. Yeah.
Tomorrow you are going to be in Porto.
Yeah. Just
Till when?
For a holiday. For a holiday. Yes. But
Because I need to go in the end of the month.
Yeah,
Till
I
when?
will be until 26th.
Maybe.
Well, let me know if you're there. Maybe we can meet.
Yes, because I am going to meet a choreographer that finishes on the 27th.
Okay.
And maybe yes.
Yeah.
I will let you know in message.
Yeah, you have my email, and Yeah, I would like to continue, but now I need a little bit break of everything because in 3 weeks I have this performance and conference, Laban conference in Essex, and I need to prepare myself. But yes, I'm very open, and I would like to learn more from you. And it was great.
There are many options. I mean, it's possible to make a break. The only question is that I told the other groups, the people who continue together, not with a new group.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, yeah.
But then I am making a kind of list and reschedule maybe. When are you coming to? You told me, but I forgot. To Alex.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I'm on Sunday. So if I was to
Sunday.
be the next Monday, I'll be in Doha. So like if it's just me, I can make that time, but I can't make any later because I'll be on a plane. If Sandra and Dora like can't do that time, whatever, I would like to continue. But then when I'm in Berlin for the next 2 months, obviously I'm much more flexible on the times than just if it's just me that's left at this. The evening slots might be because at least once, because I'm working mostly in the mornings. Usually not on a Monday, but at least once I'll have to rearrange because I'll be working. So maybe I can just write you. I have a kind of messy schedule.
But when are you going to start in Berlin?
So from the 28th, so next week.
Ah, okay.
But so I'll be going. I'm spending a day in because I really don't like planes. So I'm spending like 22 hours in Doha, and that would be 22. But it's like but it's like from 4 a.m. till 2 a.m. So it's like I'm just out for the day. It's sort of fine. I'd rather do that than spend like 4 hours just in a airport, you know.
That's the word. But 22.
Yeah. I chose it. I'm gonna go because there's Pipolotti Rist has an exhibition that's opening there, and then there's the Museum of Islamic Art and blah blah blah. So I'm just gonna go around for the day. But then I was gonna go, if we have this class next week, I'll go to the library, with all of the Emiratis and that, and speak quietly about dramaturgy, not in Arabic.
I did something from a library and I said it was like the perfect place, but it's very, very stressed, you know, because it's like people looking at you. Oof, in a library. It's really.
Oh, but I can
that is the beauty of silence.
Well, maybe in libraries, you are closer and closer to the pure silence libraries and church when there is nobody.
Oh, I'd sit in the cafe or something. Like I wouldn't be talking in English loudly and sitting in the middle of the library like, yeah, I think it's like this. Like I couldn't do that. Where there's all these like conservative people sitting around. Like obviously I'd sit somewhere that was not offensive for me to speak.
You will put your glasses.
What? My glasses on?
Your glasses, no?
No, that was a niqab. Like
That's good. That's very good. Yeah, write me with all the facts.
Yeah.
And then I will see if I propose you something possible.
okay. But just after this for the next 2 months, I'm very flexible on the times because I won't be in Australia. So it's not imperative that because now for me, like it's, 11:15, but usually this would be the only time that I could do. But when in the next 2 months, it'll be like any. So I understand the progressive thing, but if it was just me, like if Sandra and Dora can't do this time or take a break and it was just me, I'd probably rather be with other people, you know? But yeah, I'll write you.
That's good because they mainly is people from Europe. So I have a special group that's going to be start next week from Canada, people from Canada, but they will start from zero. So
Okay.
then this is it. Well, I thank you very much for your energy, and see you.
Yeah, see you.
Maybe in Porto.
Bye, Alexandra, and bye, Carlos. See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.